Hello friends, my name is Dilip Pratap Singh Shekhawat. I have secured All India rank 72 in this year's Civil Services examination. My optional subject was Public Administration. I belong from Jodhpur in Rajasthan and this was my third attempt. Now talking about the story of mine while preparing for the Civil Services examination. Back then in my college I was associated with the Lions Club, which was involved in a number of philanthropic activities like blood donation, like we went to schools, hospitals, etc. And in this way, I developed an interest in public service, and hence I took a decision to appear for the civil service examination, and this motivation kept me going throughout these years of my preparation. And being the third attempt, I have also faced failures in this examination. Especially I want to talk about two major failures in this process. First was the 2016 attempt in which I failed in the preliminary examination itself. And I can tell you that in the preliminary examination, I missed by a whisker of 0.66 marks in the prelims and I was not called for mains. But that moment was a very big turning point in my life because I took it as a challenge, I took it as an opportunity that yes, I have this much talent, that is why I have reached so far. And from there on, I never looked back, started my preparation again, prepared for the main examination very thoroughly, completed my optional subject and again appeared for the 2017 examination. Now in the 2017 examination, I cleared the preliminary examination by a very good margin and then cleared the main examination also by a decent margin, but missed the final list, that too by only 15 marks. So again and again I was getting this thought inside my mind whether my destiny has it or not, whether there is IAS in my destiny or not. So I always thought this like this, and there was always a dilemma in my mind whether I should continue or whether I should leave. But all the wisdom came to my rescue at this moment of time, and I, with full energy, I gave the 2018 attempt, cleared the preliminary examination, cleared the main examination, and hence got All India rank 72 in this year's civil service examination. Now, this is my story. This story seems a story of persistence, a story of hard work, but ultimately it was a story of a very true motivation to serve the society, to serve my country, and this motivation always kept me going through my lows and highs as well. So I want to tell the candidates who are aspiring to become civil servants, who are aspiring to clear this examination and get into the top services of the country, that if you have true desire and motivation, everything will come to you. All the forces of the nature will conspire with you to achieve your success. Now, moving forward, I would like to discuss my comprehensive civil services examination strategy and how I learned from my failures, which things helped me, what unique did I do to clear this examination. So, moving on, this is a 3-stage examination process consisting of the preliminary examination, the main examination and the interview. Now, starting with the prelim examination basically is a screening test which screens candidates who will appear for the main examination. And in this screening test, there are two papers basically. One is qualifying, the civil service aptitude test, and one is paper 1, that is general studies, which consists of around 100 questions, and from those 100 questions the cutoff is made for the main examination and hence you qualify. So for prelim examination, my strategy was very simple, that I have to prepare for the main examination throughout my period before the prelim examination, and this will help me to have an analytical approach towards the examination, because in UPSC prelims the papers are very analytical. You require thorough concepts, you require good factual knowledge as well. Hence a balance of both can be made by preparing for mains throughout the journey. But in the last 2 to 3 months before the actual examination, what we can do is we can concisely and exclusively prepare for prelims for these 2 to 3 months. So I have a very simple and comprehensive strategy for the people who are preparing for the prelim examination. This strategy has to be put in the last 2 months. First is the revision part. I think everybody knows the book list, everybody knows the sources from which to read, but I think revision plays a very important role in the prelim examination, and hence you must ensure that before going to the actual examination you should make at least 3 revisions of every subject. So this will help you to recollect the information in the actual examination. Second is the importance of test series. Test series are the most important parameter to judge your capability before the actual examination. It gives you a scope to know your mistakes, to know your strength areas, to know your weaknesses, and to know where you are falling wrong or how to increase those 10 to 15 marks which will land you comfortably in the main examination. So, solving optimum number of mock test papers is very important. I solved around 40 to 50 mock test papers. It helped me to analyze my mistakes. It helped me to build a comprehensive strategy for the prelim examination, and in this way, with continuous and regular practice of mock test papers, prelim examination was just another mock test in which I qualified both the times. Now, there are some important areas which have to be taken care of in the prelim examination. The core areas are economy, geography, history, art and culture, science and technology, polity, so and environment as well. So, these all areas are the core areas. You should ensure that you should read the NCERTs of these subjects and also one advanced level book for all these subjects, and revise again, and ensure that if any question is asked from these areas, you must attempt them, and also ensure that these questions are not wrong, because this will ensure that you always in a comfortable zone to clear the prelim examination. Second is the importance of current affairs. Now, we have seen in the last 3 preliminary examinations that the importance of current affairs has increased massively. Especially now the current affairs have been asked in the prelim examination of even 4 to 5 years back. So, I think current affairs plays a very important role whether you will be writing mains or not. So, for current affairs, I would suggest that you should thoroughly read one newspaper. The Hindu is a very good newspaper, and you can also choose the Indian Express. Secondly, you must follow a monthly magazine very thoroughly and ensure multiple revisions. And before the examination, you must ensure that you also go through the government sources like the PIB, the PRS, and the ministry websites, etc. Now, coming to the important areas in preliminary examination which help you to gain an edge over other candidates. Some of these areas are art and culture. Art and culture is a very static subject. With limited resources, you can gain maximum marks, and this is very important source. Second is the environment section. Environment section, I think now, since the forest service examination is clubbed with the civil service examination, it plays a very important role. So, in environment, you must read the Shankar IAS textbook, which is very important. It is a core book for the environment section. Secondly, you must follow the current affairs very regularly. You must go to the websites of the United Nations and all the environment organizations to gather more information about the situations and happenings related to the environment area. Then current affairs of the national and international importance are also very significant when we talk about economy, environment, science and technology, because the questions from these areas are basically current affairs based. So, in this way, with smart preparation and with a very good strategy, prelims examination can be cleared in a very easy manner. So, now moving on to the main examination. After your preliminary examination is over, I would suggest that you should not look at the paper again. You should keep the paper in your shelf and start preparing for the main examination. Many of the candidates, they waste the entire period before the declaration of the preliminary examination results, and in the anticipation of whether they would be writing mains or whether they would be rejected in the prelim examination. So, I would suggest that rather than counting the number of marks which you are getting in the prelim examination, you should straight away join a main test series for your general studies paper, for the essay paper and the optional paper as well, because this will help you to directly get into the mains mode, because mains is a very different examination from the prelim examination, because you have to read a lot which is different from the prelim examination. You have to read paper 4, the ethics paper, you have also have the essay paper, then the optional paper also, and you have to do a lot of answer writing practice. So, that is why I would suggest that start preparing for the main examination just after a week after the prelim examination. Now, coming to the sources of the main examination, the mantra for the main examination is that you have to keep your sources very limited and you have to make multiple revisions. This is a very simple formula. I applied this formula in 2017 attempt also and 2018 attempt also, and cleared prelims by a very cleared the main examination by a very comfortable margin. So, coming to the book list, first is the GS paper 1. The GS paper 1 is basically a static paper in which we have sections like world history, Indian history, then we have art and culture, then we have society, geography, etc. So, for all these areas, I referred to very limited sources. For example, in world history, I referred to the old NCERT of Arjun Dev. Then coming to the modern India, I refer to Bipin Chandra's book. And then coming to the society portion also, I restricted myself to the current affairs and to the syllabus. There are some terms mentioned in the syllabus like secularism, regionalism, etc. I did extensive research on them to prepare well. Then coming to geography, I restricted myself to the 11th and 12th class NCRTs, which helped me to write better answers with a very limited knowledge. Then coming to art and culture, I referred to the CCRT website, wherein various art forms, various architecture forms are given, and it helped me to write good answers in art and culture as well. Now coming to general studies paper 2, I think general studies paper 2 is a very important paper in the main examination, because if you have a very good hold on the current affairs, it can help you fetch very good marks. In this year's examination, main examination, I scored 118 marks in general studies paper 2, and the basic reason behind me getting this amount of marks was that I very well used the core concepts and linked it with the current affairs, because paper 2 is all about good concepts and linking with current affairs which are happening in and around us. For example, the polity section, I think for the main examination again as well as in the prelim examination, Lakshmikant is the core book going for polity. Then coming to governance, I think you must read the second ARC reports, the relevant reports which are significant for the governance section, like e-governance, and then there are many other reports like crisis management, etc. So second ARC reports for governance is the way forward in JS2. Then coming to international relations, I think a very good hold on newspaper reading, especially the page related to world news, is very important for the international relations. Though only 4 questions are asked in international relations, but still if you have good hold over current affairs and you are following the last 1 to 2 years current affairs in international relations, I think you will score very good marks in this paper. Then again coming to social justice part of this paper, I think this paper again constitutes current affairs, this section, the social justice section, because there are many things happening in and around us, and if we are very well aware about the social issues happening around us, I think this portion can be prepared very well. Again, newspaper and monthly magazines are the key here. Now coming to general studies paper 3, I think general studies paper 3 basically and majorly consists of the economy portion. Around 7 to 8 to even 10 questions are asked from the economy section. So going forward in the economy section, you must read one advanced level book, be it Ramesh Singh or Dutt and Sundara, and then you must also have a very thorough understanding of the economic survey of that year. Economic survey forms the foundation of the GS paper 3, because it helps you become aware of the core issues in Indian economy. Then budget again is very important in general studies paper 3, and newspaper reading, especially the economy page of the Hindu and the Indian Express, the business page also very important for the general studies paper 3, because many of the questions are current affairs based and require good knowledge of the events happening in and around us. Then coming to the environment section, again Shankar IAS book is very important for core areas, and linking it with current affairs requires a very good knowledge of current affairs also. Then disaster management, I think disaster management can be covered comprehensively by covering 2 major sources. One is the Yojana for disaster management, second is the third report of second ARC of crisis management is again very important to know the recommendations which has been made by various experts in this area. Then coming to security area, portion, I think for security also second ARC reports on security, terrorism, etc. is very important, and the second ARC report on public order is again very important for the security area. You can read the summaries of this ARC report so that time is saved, because bare reports are very long. So in this area security portion can be covered. Again this area requires good knowledge of current affairs to do good in the examination. Next we move on to the science and technology section in general studies paper 3. I think science and technology section is very easy to catch upon, because it is mostly consistent of the technological developments happening in the country as well as outside. So if you are having a good hold over or current affairs of science and technology, I think you will do good in this section. A very important source in this area is the Science Reporter magazine, because it involves all the latest technologies which are being developed and which are in news, so that you can perform better in the science and technology area of paper 3. So in this way, comprehensively, by covering all these areas very concisely and making multiple revisions, general studies paper 3 can be covered. Coming to general studies paper 4, I think general studies paper 4 in very simple terms is a test of your personality in written form. So, in this way, because it wants to test your aptitude and your attitude towards civil services, because in those 3 hours when you are writing the examination, it is expected of you that you write with your heart, you write as an administrator, and you are having a problem solving approach, a decision making approach in your questions. So, paper 4 coming back consists of 2 sections. Section A consists of the theoretical parts and section B consists of the case studies. For paper A, I think lexicon book by Chronicle Publications is very important source, because it will cover your syllabus very comprehensively. It involves a lot of terminologies which are used in the ethics paper, and it can help you gain better understanding of the concepts like emotional intelligence, like honesty, like integrity, etc. So, lexicon for paper 1, lexicon for section A, and for section B, case studies, a lot of practice is required, because case studies are very important area, because it consists of almost 50% of the mark of the paper 4, and it allows you to become an administrator on paper. So, a lot of case studies will be asked, a lot of problem situations will be thrown at you, and you have to emerge with a solution. And in case studies specifically, I would like to mention a very important strategy which I adopted was that I focused on the justification part. Whatever decision I made in the paper, I justified it by various points, and I made it sure that my approach is legal as well as ethical. So, in this way, paper 4 can be tackled very comprehensively by covering the relevant sources as well as having the right approach to write the general studies paper 4. So, in this way, the book list and the sources of general studies is covered. Now, coming on to answer writing. Answer writing is very important for the general studies paper, because answer writing provides you some hacks and some very important areas where you can have an edge over other candidates. It provides you a scope of innovation and creativity, which can help you gain that one extra mark in every question, which helps you make a topper in the examination. So, answer writing basically is of 2 types. First is the daily answer writing. I followed platforms like Insights on India, which gave daily questions, and I practice daily so that I can improve on a regular basis. Secondly is the importance of test series. I think after the prelim examination is over, every candidate who is aspiring to write the main examination must join a very good test series, which will allow you to evolve as a person, evolve as a candidate from the first test till the last test. Because answer writing is all which matters in the examination. Nobody sees that how much sources you have referred, nobody sees how much knowledge do you have. The only thing which matters is that what you have written in those 7 to 8 minutes which are allotted for one question. So, answer writing is very important. Also, one very important thing is the time management. Since you have to write 9 papers in the main examination, that too very continuous, in a very continuous manner, time management is very important, because if you count the number of time, the amount of time per question, it boils down to around 8 to 9 minutes per question, and in that time you have to write a very comprehensive answer that is good in quality as well as quantity. So, I think in that area writing fast is very important, and there comes the role of answer writing. It is pure hard work, it is pure dedication and devotion to answer writing, and nothing can help in this area, however talented you are, however smart you are. So, answer writing is all about hard work and dedication and discipline. Next, coming to the third and the most important stage of the civil service examination, that is the interview stage. I think the interview in the UPSC is very different from the interview for other examinations, because in UPSC it is known as the personality test, and it really is. Nothing matters if you do not know anything, even a single question if you do not know, it will not matter. The only thing which matters is whether you have the desired traits for civil services in your personality or not, whether you are honest or not, whether you are speaking the truth, whether you are not bluffing or not. So, in this area, personality test is a comprehensive test of the qualities which you possess, which will helpful in your delivery of services in the civil service. So, for the personality test, I would suggest the strategy like this, that you must give at least 5 to 6 mock interviews, so that you have that test before the actual interview, so that you can know your strengths and weaknesses, and you can work upon your weaknesses and you can gain confidence from your strengths in the mock interviews. Second most important thing is a group preparation for the interview. A group preparation for the interview is important because this is a game of exposure. You must be very confident while conversing with people. Interview is nothing but a purposive conversation between the candidate and their board members. So in this way, group preparation really helps. I tried it this time and I also benefited from this. Next is you have to work upon your communication skills. No matter how many desired qualities do you have for the civil services, no matter how much you are qualified for the civil services, how good qualities you have possessed, but the most important thing is to communicate what you really think. What you really think, if it becomes equal to what you really say, I think that will work magical in the interview. So you have to work upon your communication. If you are not good at communicating with people, I think you gain a very good amount of 3 to 4 months after your main examination to work upon this, because communication is all which matters. Communication is the medium to show your personality to the board members. So please work upon the communication skills. Then the most important thing for the interview is the detailed application form. Your entire interview revolves around the detailed application form which you fill after the prelim examination and before the main examination, because it consists of very important details like your place of birth, like your graduation subject, like your optional subject, like your hobbies, etc., and all the other details as well. So in this way, detailed application form has to be prepared very comprehensively, very thoroughly. What I did in this area was that I tried to jot down as many questions in the detailed application form as possible, and by the end of 2 to 3 months after the main examination, I was able to extract around 200 to 300 questions from my detailed application form, which allowed me a very definite area to prepare for the interview, because ultimately in the interview it is a test of your personality, and your biodata is your personality in the written form. If what you speak, if it matches with the details you have provided in the DAF, then I think you will do well in the interview. So in this way, and ultimately I want to tell the candidates one thing, that interview is only a game of confidence. When you are confident enough that you will be clearing this examination by a very good margin, I think you exhibit the maximum qualities which you really possess for the civil services, and it helps you to bring out your personality in a very comprehensive manner, in a very true manner, so that you gain those marks which will help you to get into the final list. So in this way, this was my comprehensive strategy. Thank you very much.